Champions League is on. The Champions League final is on. Remember, we had 32 teams. Now it has been narrowed down to just two, just two. For these two clubs, honestly, I want to say a massive congratulations to these two clubs, for them to be able to qualify to the final. 32 teams, just remaining 30 gone. When I mean 30, I'm talking about teams like Juventus, teams like Inter Milan that played the final of the Champions League. I'm talking about Real Madrid. I'm talking about Atletico Madrid. I'm talking about Benfica. Big European teams, they are gone. And Chelsea is in the final. Oh boy, that is why you don't need to write off Chelsea in this game. I don't know why so many people are writing off Chelsea. Write off Chelsea at your own peril. Write you off Chelsea at your own detriment. Have you forgotten about Chelsea? In the days of Didier Drogba, that fighting spirit is still on. I just remember Didier Drogba sending their legendary message to the team and told them that winning and fighting spirit is in their DNA. That was coming from Didier Drogba. Like the fighting spirit, the winning mentality is in every Chelsea player's DNA. So those people writing off Chelsea, honestly, you don't know what you're doing. Tomorrow, I'm sure Chelsea is ready to shock the world. When Maresca was asked, how are you going to cope when because you are going to suffer a lot without the ball? What strategy do you have to be able to cope with the fact that you would, in most period within the game, you will not have the ball? How are you going to cope? Maresca was like, what are you saying? Who said that? Who said we are going to be without the ball? They have their plans. We have our plans. So those people writing up Chelsea, honestly, no doubt, we understand that PSG, they are a better team. Football is football. Football is football. 11-11. It only takes that team that is having a greater hunger to win every game. I've said this over and over again. You can't just, on paper, win. You can't win a game on paper. We understand that PSG is a better team compared to Chelsea, but it's still not over. That is the beauty of the game, the beauty of the round letter game. You cannot just say it's over. It is not over, guy. Until after the blast of the final whistle, you cannot say it is over. See, we will see. The world is watching. All eyes on the Club World Cup. And let's see, let's just quickly look at head-to-head how Chelsea was able to qualify to the final. In their first game against LAFC, that is their Club Leon, they defeated LAFC 2 unreplied goals. In their game against Flamengo, yes, they lost 3-1. In the third game against Esperance of Tunis, they won that game 3-0. Against Benfica, which was at the round of 16, remember Chelsea qualified as second in their group. Thereby, that gave them the opportunity to meet Benfica because Benfica topped their group. Don't forget, Benfica was in the same team with Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich lost to Benfica 1-0 because Bayern Munich was already topping. But that loss to Benfica in the final game gave Benfica the right to top the group. And that's how Chelsea escaped. I cannot say Chelsea escaped. Bayern Munich escaped because they had the opportunity. They had the win in their hands and decided to lose to Benfica, thereby avoiding Chelsea. That's how they avoided Chelsea, and Chelsea had to play Benfica in the second round. At quarterfinal, Chelsea played Palmeiras. Remember, Chelsea defeated Benfica 4-1. Remember that thunder disruption that happened in that game. It was 1-0, 4 minutes to the end of the game. There was this weather disruption, thunder, lightning, and all that. And they had to postpone the game for about 1 hour, 30 minutes. And Chelsea came back on the resumption. Benfica equalized. It was now 1-1, penalty. And Chelsea went ahead to score more goals, and the game ended 4-1. And then in the quarterfinal against Palmeiras, Chelsea defeated Palmeiras 2-1. Then semi-final, they played Fluminense, and Chelsea defeated Fluminense 2-0. Remember that emotional game between Thiago Silva and Joao Pedro. It was really an emotional game, but Chelsea came up top in that game, and that's how they were able to fight their way into the final. So kudos to Chelsea. Okay, for PSG, in their first game, they won that game 4 goals to nothing by defeating Atletico Madrid. In the second game, they lost to Botafogo. In the third game against Seto Sanders, they won 2-0, and that's how they were able to qualify from the group stage. Okay, they also defeated Inter Miami in the round of 16. 4 unreplied goals. Sorry to Messi, man. Then in the quarterfinal, they defeated Bayern Munich 2 goals with 2 red cards. They were still able to defeat Bayern Munich. And then the semi-final, they defeated the mighty Real Madrid. 4 goals. And this defeat to Madrid is what is actually creating a lot of panics among fans all over the world. People are saying, if PSG can defeat Real Madrid, the almighty Real Madrid 4-0, then who is not Chelsea? But they are forgetting something, that game against Madrid, in fact, Madrid scored 2 goals ahead of that game. Madrid themselves scored 2 goals against themselves. If you watch that game properly, that 4-0 is not a true reflection of that game, honestly. It was as a result of silly mistakes from Rudiger and the other defenders. First 10 minutes, those mistakes, in fact, among those 4 goals, Real Madrid themselves scored 2 against themselves. If I want to look at that for 4 goals, I would say PSG actually scored 2, while Madrid scored 2 to make it 4. So those people looking at that game to judge Chelsea, I think they are making a very big mistake. And forget, every game is not the same. Okay, look at Botafogo. Botafogo defeated PSG in this tournament. But Real Madrid conceded 4 against PSG. So how can you relate with that? Are you not telling me that Botafogo is better than Real Madrid? No, of course no. The same thing happened against Chelsea. They lost their game against Flamengo 3-1. Are you not telling me that Flamengo is better than Chelsea, or Flamengo is better than Fluminense, or is better than Benfica? No. So the game of football is not something that is not 1+1. It's not something that you can just say, oh, it must go this way. No, football is unique. That's the uniqueness of the game. That's the beauty of the game. Let's wait. On the 13th is just here. We will see, and the world is watching, to be able to see that fighting spirit that is in the DNA of the Chelsea players. They are ready to prove a point and to show to the world that they are not pushover. As far as in fact, anybody considering Chelsea as a pushover coming into this final is making a very big mistake. Because considering the fact that they qualified amidst 30 teams into the final, we had 32 teams, and out of 32 teams, they are now in the final. In fact, the hatred, I believe anybody that is saying anything against Chelsea is just hatred, because whether you like it or not, these guys are in the final amidst 32 teams. They deserve their honor. They deserve some sense of pride. They deserve some respect. Chelsea deserves some respect, man.